Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Kellen here again with Droid Life. So I've got in front of me the Moto Z3. This was obviously just announced by Motorola in partnership with Verizon. In fact, it's a Verizon exclusive in the US. And it's making headlines because we thought it was going to be their flagship, and we'll talk about that, but it's going to have 5G connectivity someday. So it's kind of like a first 5G-ish sort of phone, and it's kind of a flagship maybe, and it's only on, I don't know. There's a lot to talk about here. We'll get to a review, but let's do the first thing. Let's just unbox the Moto Z3. All right, so Moto Z3, available August 16th at Verizon, costs $480 at full retail, or $20 per month if you go with a 24-month device payment plan. Verizon's also running some deal where you can get like $300 off if you trade in a device or something like that. So you can kind of get this phone for almost nothing. Let's unbox it though and just show you the actual phone. So packaging, this just looks like the Moto Z3 Play. It just doesn't say play there, it just says Moto Z3. But this is kind of the Moto packaging for 2018. There's not really much to show you. It doesn't list specs. It just talks about turbocharging. So if we pull it out, Verizon SIM. So again, this is a Verizon exclusive. So if you're in the US and you wanted this phone, you're kind of out of luck, and we don't really have word on if there's an unlocked one or not. So Moto thing there. Here's the phone. I'm just gonna set this thing aside for a second, see what else is in the box. This thing is extra light, and I point that out because the Moto Z3 actually came with a battery mod. This phone does not come with a battery mod. So it's $480, you get the phone. Obviously you get a charger, it's USB-C charger, and it is turbo power, so it's fast charging. But you don't get that battery mod like you got with the Moto Z3 Play. So that was like a $500 phone, or $450 if you buy it from Amazon, and it includes a battery mod. This one, $480, no battery mod. Turbo power charger in here, so here's your power brick. It's USB-A there, and USB-C on the other end. And then also in the box, you have a 3.5mm to USB-C headphone adapter. This phone does not have a headphone jack, so if you want to plug headphones in, you gotta use that little adapter or buy USB-C headphones. All right, everything out of the box. Let's talk about the phone. All right, magic part of putting the stuff back in the box done. Here is the phone. I know it's gonna be tough to see just because it's so mirrory, but it's ceramic black. This is the only color. The Moto Z3 Play actually came in this really cool blue color, which I appreciated. I'm kind of disappointed this didn't come in that blue. The blue is actually kind of a cool color. Let's take stickers off, because you know your boy loves to take stickers off. So let's take that off, and we'll power it on, and we'll start talking about some specs here. So obviously you can see with the display lit up there, it's a 6-inch full HD, so 1080p AMOLED display. So it's, you know, mostly edge to edge. I don't want to call it bezel-less, but it's mostly edge to edge. In terms of Z3 Play, how it compares to that, it's very similar. This is Motorola's closest thing to a full display device yet. That means fingerprint reader is gone from the bottom, and like the Z3 Play, it's actually embedded right there in the side. So that is actually the fingerprint reader. And if you followed my Z3 Play coverage, you know I'm a big fan of that. You also have volume rocker above that, and then on this other left side over here, you do have your power button. So that's kind of the setup. You reach over here for power, reach here to unlock, volume up and down there. All right, so specs though. So again, 6-inch display here, AMOLED, full HD. It's not quad HD or something like that. You have 64 gig storage internally, micro SD slot, and I believe it's probably doubled in there with the SIM tray. That's where that would be. Has a 3,000 milliamp hour battery on the inside. You can obviously expand that if you use a Moto mod or something like that. There are plenty of battery packs that do that, but it has 3,000 milliamp hour embedded. You can fast charge it. It's splash resistant. You have a dual 12 megapixel camera on the back. It's f2.0, 1.25 micron pixels, has phase detect autofocus, dual LED flash, that sort of thing. So pretty standard camera setup there in terms of you know, current phones. Down here on the bottom, you can see that USB-C port, no headphone jack anywhere down there. So again, no headphone jack anywhere. Where this phone gets a little weird for me is, well, it's got 4 gig RAM. So again, we're not really in that flagship territory. Most phones these days that are flagship level have 6 gig or 8 gig of RAM. So the RAM's a little low. It's powered by a Snapdragon 835 processor, which is not the newest from Qualcomm. Now, we actually think there's an 855 coming out soon, but most phones in 2018 that are top tier run Snapdragon's 845. I mean, any phone that's released in the last year, or I should say from the beginning of 2018 on, that's flagship level, 845. This is running at 835, which is the processor in the Pixel 2, which is released last year. So kind of confusing. We're low on RAM, we're last year's processor, but then the price comes in, right? So Snapdragon, or I'm sorry, $480. So because of that last year's processor, I'm sure they got a discount on it. We're at $480. The RAM's lower, 64 gig storage. So those are the specs. They do not paint the picture of a top tier phone for 2018, which I think is kind of weird. So what else is there to know? As you can see, I've jumped past all the activation stuff. So it's got that clean version of Android. In fact, it's Android 8.1, but it's Motorola's clean version of Android where it looks pretty stock like Google's. I mean, sure, there's Verizon bloatware everywhere, like this app flash thing. Like that stuff exists, and there's some Verizon apps. You can see the Verizon messages down there. But for the most part, it's a pretty clean version of Android. And again, it is Android 8.1. We don't know what the update situation's like. Motorola's like they go through phases where sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're not great. But overall, the experience should be solid. You can do the twist and launch the camera, so you can do that. It's got manual camera mode and stuff. They've actually upped the camera settings. There's portrait mode now and the time lapse, and you can record right to YouTube Live. So the camera is actually, like, in terms of software, is really good now from Motorola. We'll test obviously the camera quality. You have, let's see if I can power the screen off. You should have Moto Display. There it is. So you got Moto Display, which is one of the better software features around. See if I can get that to pop. So it shows battery time and you'll have notifications roll in as well. You can talk to Moto Voice, but it also, of course, is going to have Google Assistant, which I would need to set up. So it's got that. Everything looks kind of the way it should. One of the cool features I do like about this, and again, you can see all of this in my Moto Z3 Play. Not in there, my Z3 Play review, but if you go into like the Moto app, you can change the button setup down here. Let's just allow everything. You can change the button setup to actually be, let's see if I can figure out how to do it. Well, there's a 3-finger screenshot tool, which I think is cool. Oh, here we go, the one button nav. So it's going to make me go through a tutorial, but the one button nav takes one button. It's kind of gesture support. So you tap on it to go home, swipe this way to get into multitasking, swipe this way to go back. This is actually kind of how Google's Android P new single gesture bar should work. But anyway, it's got that on it. So again, it's just like the Moto Z3 Play, although you have technically an upgraded processor. That has like a 636 or 660. This has an 835, which might be last year's, but it's still last year's flagship from Qualcomm. I liked the Moto Z3 Play. I'm assuming I'm gonna like this phone. I think I was hoping for that really high-end flagship and all of that stuff. Now let's talk about the future. So this does do Moto Mod. So here's actually Chicago Cubs little style swap cover, and Moto Mod just slap on there. So you can use the projector, you can use the JBL speakers, you can use other battery packs, the wireless battery pack. You can, there's the Polaroid camera thing. All those Moto Mods that have been out there for 3 years, they will still work on this phone. So that's part of the access. Now, what the part of the deal today was that 5G is coming. So Verizon's millimeter wave 5G, which is only going to be in 4 markets by the end of the year, and who knows next year. And that's home internet, not necessarily wireless internet, or I should say mobile internet. This phone will be able to connect to that with a 5G Moto Mod. We don't know exactly when that's going to be released, early 2019. We don't have any idea how much it's going to cost. It's huge. It's thick. It has a 2,000 milliamp hour battery built into it to attach on to the 3,000 milliamp hour battery in the phone, and it'll give you a 5G connection. And there's some questions there about how exactly that's going to work. There's probably not going to be much access initially. Who knows how much the thing is going to cost. So that's kind of what the push is. We've got a reasonably priced phone with the potential to connect to 5G at some point. So again, it's kind of a weird phone. I'm not sure I fully understand why we didn't go full flagship, why we're pushing a 5G thing that's not going to exist for 6 months at least, maybe, and only in a couple more. I don't know. I guess we got to start somewhere, right? This was a long unboxing. I've just got some feelings about this phone. So we'll dive further in. We'll have a review up shortly. If you guys have comments or questions, there's anything in particular you want us to check out with the Moto Z3, let us know. Droid Life. Peace.